Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Scudder. Today we're going to learn about the Declaration of Independence. Part A, Peace Plans Fail. On May 10, 1775, about a month after the battles of Lexington and Concord, colonial delegates met in Philadelphia at the Second Continental Congress. John Hancock, a Boston merchant who had escaped from Lexington, was elected president of the Second Continental Congress. Hancock soon learned that the delegates did not all have the same goals for the Congress. Delegates disagree. Samuel Adams and John Adams from Massachusetts and Richard Henry Lee, and Thomas Jefferson of Virginia wanted independence from Great Britain. John Dickinson of Pennsylvania and others hoped the colonies could remain British subjects but could govern themselves. In July 1775, the Congress sent what they called the Olive Branch Petition to King George III. An olive branch is a symbol of peace. The petition asked the king to repeal his governing policies for the colonies. The petition angered the king. He refused to even read it. Instead, he ordered more troops to be sent to the colonies. When word of the king's response reached the Congress, most delegates agreed that independence was their only choice. A Continental Army. By late 1775, the Congress faced the task of raising an army and naming a commander. Most fighting had taken place in the North. This led John Adams to say that a Southern commander would help unite the regions. He nominated George Washington from Virginia as the leader of the Continental Army, the name given to the colonial force. Washington had served as an officer in the French and Indian War, and colonial soldiers trusted him. Congress sent representatives to France, the Netherlands, and Spain to seek financial support. These countries wanted to help the Americans fight Great Britain, their longtime enemy. However, Great Britain was the strongest country in Europe. No country would risk sending money or supplies until the Continental Army proved it could defeat the British. Part B, the Declaration of Independence. In June 1776, a committee was appointed by Congress to write a Declaration of Independence, a document stating that the colonies were independent from Great Britain. The committee members were John Adams of Massachusetts, Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, Robert Livingston of New York, Roger Sherman of Connecticut, and Thomas Jefferson of Virginia. The members of the committee decided that Jefferson should write the first draft. Writing begins. Jefferson worked on a draft for 2 weeks. Then Franklin and Adams made some changes and presented the draft to the Congress on June 28. Throughout the hot summer days of early July, delegates discussed the final wording of the Declaration. Adams later said he was delighted with Jefferson's high tone, yet he later wrote, "There were other expressions, which I thought too much like scolding." Jefferson included a list of crimes that he accused the king of committing. Other delegates wanted to remove parts of this section before sending it to the king. Jefferson had also attacked the slave trade. Representatives from the southern colonies whose economy depended on slavery removed words attacking slavery and the slave trade. The power of Jefferson's words inspired the delegates, but the final statement of his document made the most important point. The good people of these colonies solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be free and independent states. Approval and signing. At last, the delegates were satisfied. They passed the final version of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776. John Hancock, as president, signed it first. He said that he wrote his name large enough for the king to read it without his glasses. Americans still celebrate this date as Independence Day. Soon, copies of the Declaration were sent throughout the colonies. On July 19th, Congress ordered a special copy of the Declaration to be written on parchment, a sheepskin paper used for important documents. Its new title was The Unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. It was the first time the name of the new country was used in an official document. On August 2nd, the other delegates added their signatures under Hancock's, which was the largest. Eventually, 56 delegates signed the document. Every person who signed it became an enemy of the king and could be hanged. Declaring independence was a great risk.